stupid!
Bond, James Bond.
But sly as a fox, sharp as a laser. On HTV, The Living Daylights, Monday, 7:50. In the last of the present series, respectability is shattered.
It's lying through teeth.
On HTV, Sherlock Holmes, Monday at 10:40.
Mountain-grown beans. Give Maxwell House its great mountain-grown taste.
If you want more choice from a car, the answer is the Fiat Punto. There's a choice of 4 different engines and 4 different interiors. A choice of 3- and 5-door body styles. And a choice of 13 striking colors. So there's a Punto to suit everyone. Fiat Punto, the answer.
Well, I bought my lot multi-Cheerios because they're nutritious. Little O's of corn, oats, rice, wheat, whole grain, not too sweet.
Looks very interesting.
I said, just try them. Why? I think they liked them.
Nestle Multi-Cheerios. Try them on your family.
You can never explain to people how bad the burning pain of excess stomach acid can be, or the feeling that whatever you take, the pain may come back. And back. And back. Pepsid AC works in a quite extraordinary new way. One little pill helps put out the pain and actually controls excess stomach acid for up to 9 hours.
Pepsid AC contains famotidine, now available from your pharmacist without a prescription. The first to last in acid control.
So, how's your new girlfriend?
Oh, you'll see her. She'll be here soon.
And you're eating onions?
Yeah, I love them.
She's gonna love your onion breath.
Doesn't matter. I've got double mint.
After you eat, have some double mint. Double mint, double fresh. For that moment of double freshness, just when you need it.
Double mint refreshes your breath naturally.
Remember when Britannia ruled the waves? My, what a team we had back then. Boots, Wellington, Charlie Dickens, Dangerous Darwin, Nobler Nightingale, Bomber Brunel, good old John Marston.
Good old John Marston, a great Victorian bloke, he brought us Marstons, the finest ale from Castlewood, who ruled the Brampton Union way up until the present day, and pedigrees his finest brew in all the land.
Thank heavens, some things are what they used to
be. Detectives on film.
Inspector Pascoe and I are off to see a dirty movie. Tough job ours, isn't it?
Featuring
murder, 4th century, arson, assault.
With
exotic dancers, stand-up comics, strippers, all that.
Set in.
Blue Hollywood of the North.
And it's all about just one little thing.
Pinch of snuff.
Hale and Pace's A Pinch of Snuff. Tonight, 10:30 on HTV.
Following Coming up, Pinch of Snuff at 11:30 tonight, the Big Fight Special. Now on HTV, the latest news from ITN.
Good evening, this is ITN. The headlines. Foreign troops move in as fierce fighting erupts again in Rwanda. A mother's anger as hundreds mourn the Protestant woman murdered in Belfast.
And in sport, the 16-to-1 shot Mini Homer wins a trouble-free Grand National. For owner Freddie Starr, it's a champagne celebration.
An evacuation of foreigners is underway tonight from the Central African state of Rwanda, where thousands have died in tribal violence. A French military plane carrying 43 people left the capital Kigali this evening. Other foreigners are leaving the country in convoys of cars. There's been more fierce fighting today. John Draper at ITN reports.
As more Belgian troops left their barracks to fly out to Rwanda for the evacuation of their nationals, the warring factions issued blunt warnings to them not to get involved, possibly fearing that these troops might want to revenge the killings of their colleagues serving in the UN. They flew off several hours after French troops had secured the airport in Kigali. But a rebel spokesman in New York gave them 12 hours to complete the evacuation, after which they risked being treated as hostile forces.
If they are there after that, the time that it takes to remove the people, if they stay longer for any other mission that is not humanitarian, we shall take them as the hostile forces and we shall engage them in combat.
There's no prospect of a settlement as rebel and government forces battle for control of the former Belgian colony. Foreign nationals in the tiny Central African country have fled in all directions. At Kigali Airport, French troops have been flying them out, while others were evacuated by road to Butare and over the border to Burundi. It's not known if any of the 70 Britons were among them. But it's the Rwandans left behind who are bearing the brunt of the suffering, with thousands reported killed.
There is absolutely no control. There are armed gangs, there is looting going on, there are people settling their private or professional differences.
Meanwhile, UN troops sent to monitor the peace can only stand by and count the dead.
Miners at the last deep colliery in South Wales voted today to fight British Coal's closure plans. The 400 men at Tower Colliery near Aberdare stood to gain up to £9,000 each in bonus payments if they had accepted closure. An official from the National Union of Mine Workers said his men would not give in to blackmail. The IRA launched 4 attacks on security posts in Northern Ireland today, shortly after ending a 3-day ceasefire, although no one was injured. In Belfast, there were hundreds of mourners at the funeral of a Protestant woman brutally murdered in a drinking club. Margaret Wright's mother said her killers would not escape the justice of God.
Even in battle-hardened Belfast, where residents have become near numbed by an almost daily litany of barbarity, the savagery of Margaret Wright's killing has shocked the supposedly unshockable, with people still struggling to come to terms with the brutality of an epileptic woman being beaten and shot before her body was wheeled a quarter of a mile in a rubbish bin and dumped over a wall. This morning, Miss Wright's Glasgow-born mother, who's grieved in private for her daughter, vented her anger in public.
He once has done more than my daughter. I'll meet this judge, but the highest judge of all. There'll be no excuse and no escape. No escape.
At the funeral service in Belfast's newest and biggest church, a Protestant minister said the authorities were planning to close the illegal drinking club where Margaret Wright was murdered in the mistaken belief she was a Catholic. This afternoon, several hundred people gathered at the murder scene for a religious service and to show their revulsion at the killing. Ivan Little, ITN, Belfast.
Fans of the American rock band Nirvana have been mourning the death of the group's lead singer Kurt Cobain. The self-confessed heroin addict was found dead at his home in Seattle yesterday. He'd apparently committed suicide.
Nirvana's raw-edged sound sold them more than 15 million albums in the past 3 years. It's believed lead singer Kurt Cobain, a self-confessed heroin addict who was recovering after a drug-induced coma last month, shot himself. Shocked fans have been gathering at the star's Seattle home, where a suicide note was found beside his body.
For the first time since the death of Jimi Hendrix in 1970, a major rock star has died at the peak of his creativity.